5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. We're in the bonus edition of our 5 Questions with the Green Bay Packers making the playoffs with a 17-9 victory over the Chicago Bears yesterday.
Didn't I predict 17-9?
Did you?
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
Our editing department's been off.
You probably edited it yesterday.
I don't know how to edit.
Change it. Anyway, it was the game that they couldn't win last year, and this time they did. And it was in pretty, the score was close, but I don't think the game was that close. What do you think?
Well, I'll say this. Shout out to Pete Doherty. I read his article, and I would just advise everybody to get a subscription so you can read some of these fantastic articles some of my colleagues are writing. But what he kind of visualized was what Aaron, did last year, trying to get them into the playoffs, and what Jordan did. I mean, it was amazing because you think you're playing a divisional opponent at home, and you got the best quarterback of the two. You should be able to beat Detroit. So for a year, I've had heartburn and triggers of wanting to get into the playoffs. So it was some anxiety getting to the stadium. But as long as I knew number 10 was getting dressed, I felt good about it. And even in the game, Tom, I was just thinking to myself, the defense is giving up a play here or there, but they're not giving up touchdowns.
Right.
So, that's one of the things that really made me say, okay, they're in the best position to win. And they never got frustrated. But one time that was obviously frustrating, something me and you talked about, was going into halftime. You kind of lose a possession because it seemed like you want to get closer. But I don't know if me and you disagree or not, but I would have just kicked the field goal to go up, I think, 10-6, because the defense was playing pretty good because you were getting the ball coming out of the second half.
Yeah.
And I think that's when LaFleur broke more headphones, I think.
Yeah, it was that could have been a really critical play, but they came out in the third quarter.
Yes.
And it was clear, they were determined to move the ball, and it didn't take them long because of, Jaden Reed. And we have to talk about the contribution they got from their rookies was just phenomenal. From Jaden Reed, Tavian Wicks, then, Tucker Kraft continues to help them out, Malik Heath, then you got Carl Brooks with a sack and setting up another sack, Lucas Van Ness. He's their first-round pick, and he's gotten overshadowed by the second-round pick and the fifth-round pick and the fourth-round pick. And it's
Musgrave back.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, they have 12 draft picks on their roster, and almost all of them are contributing.
You have the youngest team in the league, but you even get even younger because some of the veterans weren't playing. Like Jaire had to miss a game for suspension. He missed 5 or 6 games. 59 missed a lot of games. So this is Nobel Peace Prize worthy, what Matt LaFleur had to do. Because even one of the Bears players said he didn't even know who the receivers were. But you got the receivers coach, Vrabel, however he says, man, I apologize.
Jason Vrabel, yeah.
Every week he's getting Bo Melton ready. He's getting Heath ready. If you can, okay, are we going to get number 9 back? No. It's not. Watson's not ready. I got to get all these guys ready, and they got to know what to do. And you remember at one point, they were dropping a lot of passes? I don't remember a pass being dropped in the last 10 weeks. So something had to work. And I think the chemistry of number 10, to me, Tom, over 4,100 yards, Jordan Love, second in the league in touchdowns, is emotionally fantastic. Because I don't think many people thought in his first year he could do something Rodgers didn't do last year. I think he's number 7th overall in ratings. 18-1 the last 6 or 7 games.
18 touchdowns and 1 interception.
I mean,
in the last 8 games.
Matt LaFleur, I respect you. I'm going to give you a signed bottle of Leap Vodka. You deserve it because you don't get, he can't say this, so I'm going to say it for him. Those wins that he had the first 3 years, they don't give him credit for that in the barbershop. Nope, that was Rodgers. You got all these great, Devontae. Okay, fine. This team is his team. He took them to the nursery. He got a big old van. He got all these babies in there. He got to make sure everybody's car seat on. Of course, one of them going to get out of the car seat and do something like jump off sides or do something or fumble. But as a parent, you calm down, put the seatbelt on, and you're driving. Now, all those babies, they've graduated to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So shout out to the staff because that staff, I'm saying offense right now, Tom, the offensive staff, because, and real quick, the reason why I say that, they're dragging across the finish line the special teams, at times, drop ball. Anders Carson missing field goals, extra points, and the defense gave up 200 yards, I think 4 or 5 times. They've been that rock. If it wasn't for their offense and these young babies at wide receiver, you don't make it to the playoffs. But it's a team game.
Yeah.
But I give a lot of credit to the offensive staff.
Yeah, and
Ton of credit.
I mean, you can't completely discredit the defense yesterday or Sunday because
great.
they did play pretty well.
The last 2 games they played out of their minds.
Yeah, no, they haven't faced Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and
I get it.
That
Yeah,
offense. They have, they've faced Justin Jefferson and DJ Moore and survived both. They did a wonderful job keeping Justin Fields contained, which will show in X's and O's.
Yeah.
But we should, people, I'm sure, want to know what it's going to take to beat Dallas because this is a whole different animal than what the Packers. This is probably the most complete team that the Packers have faced. And, 49ers are right there. Eagles were. But this is a really good team. So let's start first on your side of the ball. They are going to have to figure out a way to get to Dak Prescott and keep CeeDee Lamb. What's your initial game plan going into that game?
Well, Dallas has a good offensive line, but they got some holes in it. You can get after Dak, and Dak has games where he'll throw some interceptions. But it's 2 people, the ball's going to CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he's going to get 13, 14 targets. Jake Ferguson, the tight end, he's going to get a few. And Brandon Cooks, they like his speed. But to McCarthy, and we both know McCarthy, on and off the field, he wants to throw the ball. He doesn't really want to run the ball. That's why Ezekiel Elliott, man, I'll be Pollard. I'll give it to him every now and then, but he wants to throw the ball. So you got to beat him at his game. I'll play a lot of dime, nickel, something we talked about, different looks. And yes, at times, I'm bringing a lot of pressure. 5 or 6 pressures, just to let them know that we are just going to be very aggressive. The teams who are aggressive with Dallas or with McCarthy offense, use it in position to win games and force turnovers.
Are you going to put Jaire Alexander on CeeDee Lamb the entire way?
Absolutely. And if that's the case, McCarthy also is very smart. If that's the case, he's going to move 88 a lot. He's going to move him a lot. He's going to put him in a bunch. And he's going to try to run rub routes. They really don't want to do that, but they'll do it. So if they do that, you're taking them out of their element. So I think for the most part, you can mix it up. You can double with him, with Quay Walker. But I think for the most part, you need to have 23 on 88 and just Because if I got my best guy, your best guy, may the best man win.
Right.
And the route concepts, McCarthy's running the same stuff that he ran in Green Bay, but it's at a higher clip because they really are aggressive in the red zone. Very aggressive.
Yeah.
Very aggressive in the red zone.
Getting pressure on Prescott will be tough because of that offensive line, but they do have some injuries on the offensive line. Tyler Smith has been banged up, and their left tackle's been banged up as well. One thing I noticed in the Bears game that they created a lot of one-on-one blocks by rushing 5 guys, by bringing one of the inside linebackers, or a safety. And when someone on the Packers front gets a one-on-one, they seem to win it. Someone seems to win. Preston Smith's playing at a really high level. Kenny Clark's playing at a high level. Sean Gary's kind of tapered off, and I wonder if maybe he's starting to wear down after. I mean, he worked so hard to get back from an ACL tear that it's at some point he's going to wear down a little bit, and I wonder if they need to cut his snaps a little bit. But how do you do that, without, affecting the integrity of your pass defense against a guy like LeRoy?
Well, that's a good question because with a quarterback that doesn't scramble a lot, you can run some games now. Because if you run a lot of games with scrambling quarterbacks, once a guy do the TT stunts, before he comes around, the quarterback's gone. Dak is not one of those elusive guys that wants to do that. I mean, he'll scramble to slide. So I would run some games with him, especially with 94 Brooks. And, these guys, you got to get Dallas in third down and run some of these games. The second guy will come untouched. Because the problem with a big offensive line, sometimes they latch on to the guy. It's hard for them to come off. They'll stay on a guy. There's your rub, and there's your sack coming right up the middle. So I expect that they'll do some of that, and I would suspect they'll put 59 or 7 right over the center and walk them right up in as a 5-man front, and just say we're not giving any lanes to basically run through or to have any gaping holes so he can have a good passing lane.
Right.
Just take the fight to them at their place.
Yeah.
But they're very good at home.
Create one-on-ones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really your only chance. I think if you rush 4 against them and drop 7, it's not going to work.
Oh, you got to pick you apart with that.
Yeah, I think so too. What about the other side of the ball? So, your number one target is Micah Parsons.
Yes.
But, they have a good secondary, and they got a guy who's returned like 20 balls for touchdowns.
He got another pick yesterday.
I mean, this guy is like, interception crazy. But they have a good secondary.
Yes, and they're very well coached. But
with our former Packers, Al Harris is the secondary
and
coach
Joe Witt's
there. Yeah, Joe Witt's there too.
But if you look at some of these, it's a lot of opportunities. If you can protect to get the ball out, you run the football against Dallas. That demoralizes them, Tom. That really will take them way out of the element. They're built to get up by 10 or 15 points and just turn that rush loose. But if you run at Parsons, if you run at 90, some of these guys, and make them play the run, they'll think, because we do a lot of something they haven't seen. We have a lot of movement. Every time you move a guy, they got to go from strong to weak, weak to strong. If one guy don't get that call, somebody's wide open.
Right.
So you got to keep these short splits, and you got to keep 80, 11, keep them moving, have them think, because all you need is one bad rotation. Yeah. And there's your big play.
And the one thing about the short splits that's really interesting to me is that, not only does it does create some situations, good matchups in the passing game, but, when you have a Malik Heath or even Bo Melton, we're going to show a Aaron Jones run where he comes across and just takes out a safety, right out of the play and opens it up. So they have some guys who can block, and I think those short splits are going to be a key in this game, just
Yes.
like you said, and,
Yes.
and not just in the passing game, but in the run game too. Right?
Yeah, because you got them thinking now. Because Jordan Love is one of the best play-action quarterbacks already. His ball handling skills, they don't know if he's faking it or pulling it. And like I said, you only need one guy to guess. But when you get them short splits, it make guys think they're doing it to block, or they're doing it to run a play action and get deep. So that's the good thing. I like this offense the last 8 or 9 weeks. Somebody's always moving, or it's a short split, or the tight end's moving. Make Dallas guess. Because everybody knows once you make it in the playoffs, which is amazing, your stuff is your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to change a lot. We'll flip-flop a lot of stuff. But, and you know their defense, what Quinn likes to do. But the good thing about it is, for your offense, if 33 is running the ball, your offense is probably top 5 in the league.
It opens everything up
It
for
really
everybody
does.
else.
It really does.
It takes so much pressure off of Jordan Love.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for X and O's too, because that blocking scheme looks really good
It was good. It was good.
against
And,
Chicago.
you know, really interesting to me is the kind of game the Chicago game was. That was not the game the Packers wanted to play. They didn't want to have 7 possessions for the whole game. You know, they like to have lots and lots of possessions.
Yes.
But swing that game over to Dallas, that would be the perfect game.
I agree.
They had 420 yards on 7 possessions, so they were getting 60 yards a possession. And, man, that's the way you beat Dallas. Keep the ball out of their hands, you know? And so I wonder if they can replicate that. It's going to be tough, but, you know, that would be a winning formula, don't you think?
Oh, no question about it. The frustration of any offensive-minded coach, because it happened on both sides, if the other team is running the ball, eating up that clock, and then score. And that's the most rewarding thing I saw in the fourth quarter time. When they got the ball 5 minutes and 58 seconds or 6:08, Chicago never saw it again. They made 3 crucial first downs, maybe even 4, and that was it. And we went into victory celebration.
Yeah.
And that's what Chicago was saying. When should I use my timeouts? I don't know. We really got to stop him here. And next thing you know, he hits Tucker Kraft. And then Aaron Jones get the first down.
Yeah, it started with Reed across the middle for a 15-yard first down. And then they were inside their own 20. That was so huge.
That was.
You know.
That's a good formula.
Why is Reed so effective? What makes him, you know, better than the average slot guy right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. He's smart. He has great feet. If you got that as a good tandem, you're going to always know where to get open. Because you would think sometimes people would double him when he comes across in the middle.
It's hard, though, isn't it?
It is, because if he's running a route at 19 yards, he'll stop at 15 because he's wide open. But you would think, well, wait a minute. On my film study, it says he's at 19 and come inside. But he runs to get open. And his feet's always moving.
Yeah.
Always watch his feet. His feet's always moving, and he knows the offense so well. And that's how Bo Melton is. He's been getting these great matchups.
Yeah.
Because these guys run to get open instead of running a particular route, and they have great chemistry with their quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked how they wouldn't double him in certain areas, especially across the middle.
Yeah.
He can, it's pretty impressive. It's a rookie doing this.
I know when they played some zone, when the Bears played some zone, the Packers ate it up pretty good. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Deep dig route that 39-yard one that Reed had, just beautiful, just the way he broke in, and there was almost nobody there, such a huge zone to pick him up.
Awesome.
And we'll show the 59-yarder too, what happened there. And that was just chemistry between quarterback and wide receiver.
Yes, because I think for the most part, good receivers will tell you that they can, when they hear their number in the huddle, you know, the defense gets paid too, so it may not be there. The quarterback has to give you a chance to come off of you, go somewhere else, and maybe come back. Or give you an opportunity. He sees it clearing, and he'll give you the 50-50 ball, but you got to catch it. These guys been catching these balls, but when that middle's wide open like that, for Jordan to stand in there nice and tall and deliver it, and these guys catch it with their hands, it's truly amazing.
Yeah. We got to address a couple of things that are a little problematic. You know, one, you mentioned it already, was the kicking.
Oh, my goodness.
Which, I mean, what's your assessment of what's going on there?
Well,
can you tell?
It is hard to tell because of the distances and this cost. I mean, from 50-something yards, I don't have anxiety.
Yeah.
It's the close ones.
Yeah.
Extra point, the ones he's got to make, and it's hard to say. Everything looks clean. Sometimes a high snap or down, but that can really cost you if you don't make your extra points and you don't make the close field goals. Like 45 and in, you got to make them at a higher clip.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because that's what really beats him. And sometimes with the team, I mean, your coach will say, you know what, we're going to just go for it. You know, and that's what a lot of coaches have been doing that.
Yeah. Going
for it because they don't have a lot of confidence in their kicker.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what they do in the playoffs. Is, you know, are they going to kick field goals? Or are they going to say, well, it's 4th and 4. Hey. You know, our odds might be better to go for it on the 35-yard line or 30-yard line.
Yes.
You know?
And it puts you in a tough spot. It really does.
But, you know, kicking is such a weird thing, you know, in the NFL. I mean, you know, Cairo Santos is one of the best kickers in the league. Yeah. And he hit an upright, and then he had another one that looked like a duck hook, you know, that he put through. And then the kid from Dallas, who had not missed all year, misses 2 field goals last week Sunday against Washington. So it's so unpredictable in the NFL. The one thing they got going for him is it's indoors. So that kind of, you know, in Dallas, that'll sort of.
Your punter has been punting fantastic.
Yeah.
And that chemistry seemed to be right, but when Versace, when he addresses the media, I don't know if you guys have ever asked him about the timing or what is it, but he's our guy now, so we try to make sure that he's just like any closer.
Yeah, they're not switching the kickers at this point. There's no way. They're not bringing in some 40-year-old guy to come in.
And even his kickoffs were very short.
Yeah.
And then you saw Santos' kicks were out of the end zone.
And some of it is strategy, I think. Sometimes I think they want them to kick short, you know, because they believe in their coverage units to hold them.
But they're bringing them to the 35.
I agree. I think special teams has got to become a strength. You know, you didn't hire this guy, you know, at one of the highest salaries of any special teams coach to be a liability.
Yeah,
exactly. So they got to turn that around. And then we'll just see defensively, you know, how they, you know, we've seen so many bad moments on defense that what makes you think that they can turn it around all of a sudden? I just don't know.
Well, hoping it's health, because you'll have most of your guys back.
Yeah, you should. I mean, having Jaire Alexander back and his head on straight seemed to be, I saw him make harder tackles than I think I've seen him do in like 2 years.
Oh, that's true.
He threw his shoulder in there. He didn't care.
Yeah.
That was a good sign. The other thing
but of 93, 95, and 97, they got a good rotation in that middle.
Yeah.
With 94 obvious passing downs, because Wyatt, he's been playing really good.
Yeah.
So if those guys can stop that middle run, that's why Chicago kept doing those toss plays.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't think the guys can get out there, but, you know, they just got to be consistent.
Yeah. The other thing to address is Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing this all without Christian Watson. Who, I don't think you can deny that he's a special player. I mean, the guy's got like 12 touchdowns in like 19 career games.
Yeah.
Problem is he only has 19 career games.
Yeah.
You know, he's only played in 19 games. It sounded like they just didn't feel like he was ready, and I wonder if the injury is worse than they're letting on, and they're just make it so that other teams have to prepare that he's going to play. I wonder if he's even being considered to play this week.
You know, on that surface, he'll run right past Bland and the other guy. I mean, the guy's dynamic. But hamstrings, ankles, for fast people, you gotta wait till they're 100%. You know, and to be honest with you, he's, I just keep him out until he's 100%. Because these young guys are doing great. He's just a weapon you'd love to have. Though.
God, yeah. In the playoffs, you just...
He's a difference maker.
Yeah. And so how do you, and then you wrestle with it was sort of like with Luke Musgrave. They only used him for 10 plays. I talked to him after the game. He said basically it was just to get him acclimated to playing again. He said that was the plan from the beginning. He wasn't going to play a lot.
Yeah, I was just happy to see him.
And now you go, okay, so how much can you game plan for him after 1 week? And if Christian Watson could come back, how much would you game plan for him?
Yeah, that's a tough thing. And I heard somebody ask Coach that, how can you count on a guy that you don't know? But they know. Trust me, they know. They know if a guy's going to play, when he's going to play or not. But, just hoping that we have a set of plays here. We have a set of plays we won't run. They'll run their offense. The good thing about it is they're very Vrabel, the wide receivers coach. He has to make sure those guys ready, whether number 9's there or not. You're the guy. If he plays, okay, you go here, you go here. That's why I give him so much credit. Because if you can put him in that offense, you can see he puts stress on defense when he's going vertical.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They back way up. It opens it up a lot. So hopefully he can play those.
I wonder if they could use him as a decoy. Like, okay, so he's not 100%. Put him out there 10 plays, and on those 10 plays, he just runs and clears out, and you use that to your advantage in some way, shape, or form. Is that worth doing, to put a guy on the game day roster to?
No, I'm not wasting a spot with that. If I put him out there, though, I'm going to throw it to him.
Okay.
And twice a quarter, he's going deep. That's what they used to do with Randy Moss.
Yeah.
2 times a quarter, that's 8 times we're throwing it deep. We only want you to catch 1 or 2 of them for touchdowns. It's a low percentage throw, but he's a deep threat. But with Bo Melton, it's been a deep threat. But to your point, Watts is just a bigger target.
Yeah.
The guy's 6'4", fast, got great hands, he's got everything you want. But I'd rather have a guy 100% than a guy 80 or 90%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now the big moment has come, and I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, this ain't on the spot. We're looking for an upset. Yeah, because it's the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to always find a way to give it away in the fourth quarter or third quarter in the playoffs. The last 25, 30 years, they've done it. I'm hoping they do it again. I think the Packers will win 28-21. They'll get 3 turnovers. Hopefully, one of the linebackers will get it and score with it. They're going to have to do something dynamic because Dallas is so good at home. They're undefeated at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think they score at least 40 points at home. All the analytics are against you. But this is a young team. They don't even know nothing about AT&T Stadium.
Right.
They don't even know who Jerry Jones is. They just, I don't know nothing about,
Right.
Roger Staubach, Michael Hurd. They don't know nothing about the history. Nope. They just want to go there in a hostile environment and make history. So I'm picking an upset.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you want to thank today?
Well, I will thank, of course, Pick and Save. You can go to Pick and Save, any Pick and Save or Metro Market, and pick up my Leaf Vodka. Anywhere they sell alcohol, you can get it. Again, if you're in the Milwaukee area, please visit Torzala. They're one of the best breweries in the world. And again, I just want to thank the fans. The fans have been so great to us. And I want to thank Bill Schultz, our executive producer. I don't even know if Bill has a title, but thank you, Bill. But the last one.
I'm the executive producer.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Bill's
you might
the director.
be. If you've been watching X and O's, he always pick out the plays he likes.
Yeah, right.
But I also want to thank everybody that's always giving to teachers. Teachers are fantastic. I have Butler versus Bullying. You can go to LeRoyButlerInc.com. For some reason, we have speaking engagements and things of that nature. So Thank you very much.
Okay, and don't forget to check out X's and O's.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Got 3 really good plays for you to watch.
Yes.
And we will see you after the playoff game.
Go Pack.